Just a couple of hours ago, Sony announced what I believe is the most overpriced camera of all time. Now, no, they can't really compete with Leica and Hasselblad. They will always be the kings. But in terms of Sony cameras, when you look at what this camera offers and how much it costs, it does not make any sense to me, but I'm sure all of you in the comments will tell me how wrong I am. This video is sponsored by Salvage Data, and as you may or may not know, we have an office in Charleston, South Carolina, and here in Puerto Rico. And because Patrick and I have been living in Puerto Rico for 6 years, we have not been going very often back to that office in Charleston, and we have a 16 drive Synology NAS there that has been having one drive fail after another, and nobody was there to notice. By the time we got back and figured this out, 3 drives had failed and we lost every F-Stoppers video that we had made for the last 12 years. Luckily, we found Salvage Data and they were able to open up these drives and fix each one of them and then rebuild the entire server and ship it all back to us. I can't believe they were able to recover everything, but we got it all up and running again. If you have one or multiple drives that have failed, they will pay for you to ship it to them, and you don't have to pay 1 cent if there is no data to be recovered. You only pay if they can recover your data, and they have a 96.7% success rate, which they claim is the highest in the industry. If you do decide to hire them, you can save 10% with the code FStoppers at checkout. You can check it all out in the link below. All right, guys, let's talk about this crazy camera. This is the Sony RX1R. This is the 3rd iteration of this camera. And to be honest, this is not my type of camera, so I haven't paid any attention to the previous versions of this camera. If you're like me and you don't know what this is, it's a very compact camera, super small, but it has a full 35mm sensor inside, and then it has a fixed 35mm lens permanently attached to the camera. So you're not gonna be able to switch lenses. So I'm watching the promo video for this that Sony just dropped. It comes with a gigantic 61 megapixel full frame sensor. It's got a top of the line processor inside with the newest, fastest, smartest autofocus. So I'm watching the promo and I'm thinking, okay, it's cool. It's a really powerful camera, super small package. This could be cool for traveling or something. It would be really convenient for that. I wonder how much it costs. You know, is this camera like $800? Is it $1,200? And so I go over to Sony's website, and under the pricing, they have $5,100. And I'm thinking, oh, you know, it's obviously written in another currency. That can't possibly be right. You know, a point and shoot camera would never be $5,100. So then I go over to B&H, and this camera is $5,100. So I am totally confused. I must have missed some sort of feature that this camera has to justify a $5,100 price tag. So I go back to the sales page and I'm reading every spec. Like, it's gotta have some incredible 35mm lens, right? Like, it's like a f1.0 lens. No, it's a relatively slow f2 lens. Okay, maybe, you know, it's like a massive improvement. There's some new type of technology in the lens. It literally says on their sales page, same beloved lens from the past models. Okay, maybe it's got some incredible in-body stabilization. Oh, it doesn't have any stabilization. Maybe this is some sort of really high-end vlogging camera and maybe the video features are gonna be amazing. No, it can only shoot 4K 30 and the screen is fixed in place. It doesn't flip out to the side, and it also doesn't flip up and down. So then I'm thinking, okay, maybe this camera was always expensive. So I go back and I look at the original sales price of the original version of this camera. And when it came out, it was $2,800, which in my opinion still sounds like way too much money, but that's still basically half the price of what they're asking now. So at this point, I am completely confused. Why does this camera cost $5,100? I'm gonna go look at the comments on YouTube to this press video that just came out, because certainly people will be upset at the price. Almost every single comment was gushing about this camera. Apparently there is a huge group of photographers that absolutely love this form factor, I guess. But here's the thing, Sony cameras are already really small. I would argue kind of like uncomfortably small anyway. And so if you wanted to spend $2,000 on a full frame Sony camera and you wanted to put a 35mm f2 lens on the front of this, it would be very small. Those lenses are like $300. And you'd have a much more powerful, versatile camera and video camera for like half the price? I don't get it. So please let me know what I'm missing. Let me have it in the comments. Why are you willing to spend double for a camera just so that it's a little bit smaller and worse in almost every single way? Please let me know.